name's Charlie McGrath. I'm the founder of WideAwakeNews.com and a host on the Rinse Radio Network. Altered reality is what's being sold to the people of this country. An altered state of reality that isn't based on what's happening on Main Street. It's based on serving a political agenda. It's based on serving the interest of the people that Washington, D.C. truly represents, which is special financial interest in New York and the City of London. We saw some of this altered reality released last week with an 8.3% unemployment number. We were told 440,000 jobs were created in the last 2 months. Now, in an altered state of reality, the sales job that we've seen go on, nobody's questioning this in the mainstream media. Mainly, my opinion is because a handful of corporations get to control 90% of the news that's disseminated to the people of the nation. The fact is, nobody questioned this, just like nobody questioned how the Super Bowl was able to lure companies like General Electric, Chevy, and Chrysler, companies bailed out to the tunes of hundreds of billions of dollars, into spending $7 million a minute to get advertising during that same Super Bowl. Nobody questions this in the altered state of reality. Main Street continues to suffer. Wall Street continues to prosper. Everything is as it should be, according to the power elite of this country. But if we look a little bit below the surface, which the mainstream media refuses to do, we find out that it isn't this altered reality that we live in. It's more of a shocking reality that Main Street has to endure. The fact is, Charles Biederman, founder of TrimTabs, studied unemployment data and employment data for over the last 14 years. He doesn't go by some magic formula a government accountant uses, a government economist uses, a birth-death model creating jobs out of thin air, or seasonally adjusting 400,000 jobs into existence. He looks at tax receipts, because you don't create jobs without creating an increase in tax revenue. And in fact, recently, tax revenue just turned negative, meaning we're going downhill. So it coincides with Biederman's data that shows in the last 2 months, we've not only not created 440,000 jobs, we've lost 2.9 million jobs. So government accountants, government economists managed to birth-death model, managed to seasonally adjust a swing of 3.3 million jobs. So how accurate are these government economists? Well, if we look at the CBO and use them as an example, this group that's supposed to be nonpartisan, in 2001, they projected forward to 2011. And they projected that the U.S. indebtedness would be negative $2.43 trillion. The private debt to GDP ratio would be 4.8%, and in fact, would have a surplus of $889 billion with a GDP of $16.9 trillion. Now, the CBO economists, they only missed it by $17.5 trillion. So who are these people serving? Who are these economists and government serving? Well, according to Lan Pham, Wall Street is who's served. She's a former CBO economist who, after 2 months and one report that countered the Wall Street paid CBO advisor from Morgan Stanley, countered his report, a report that painted this rosy outlook and a more Wall Street favorable report. Hers countered it, she was let go. So it doesn't matter what happens in reality. It doesn't matter what shocking reality Main Street lives in. Because in altered reality, everything is geared for the financial super elite, of which you and I and the rest of the people of this country and the world for that matter are not part of. They are the uber elite 99%. We are the ever-expanding lower class, the ever-expanding have-nots. And if we continue on this path, we will be the ever-expanding serfdom class. Stories are attached. That's all I got.